I'm Mark Blumenthal, senior polling editor from the Huffington Post, here on another week with another Republican primary, except this time a convincing win for Mitt Romney.
All polls are now officially closed in Florida, and Fox News can project that Mitt Romney will triumph in the Sunshine State, taking all 50 of Florida's delegates.
So what are the factors behind Romney's victory in Florida? First, Romney and his allied super PAC were able to outspend Gingrich and his PAC by better than 4-1 on Florida's airwaves, airing some pretty tough negative ads, including one that was lifted from a decade-old NBC News broadcast narrated by Tom Brokaw, and it aired despite NBC's objections.
Tonight he has on his own record the judgment of his peers, Democrat and Republican alike, by an overwhelming vote. They found him guilty of ethics violations. They charged him a very large financial penalty, and they several of them raised serious questions about his future effectiveness.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Second, in contrast to South Carolina, Gingrich put in performances in nationally televised debates that disappointed pundits. He often wandered off message, talking about topics like a base on the moon.
I spent 25 years in business. If I had a business executive come to me and say they wanted to spend a few $100 billion to put a colony on the moon, I'd say you're fired. The idea that corporate America wants to go off to the moon and build a colony there, it may be a big idea, but it's not a good idea.
And although Gingrich was endorsed by former Senator Fred Thompson,
and I have come to the growing realization, for me anyway, that Newt Gingrich is the guy who can articulate what America is all about, American exceptionalism.
And former candidate Herman Cain, a series of endorsements promised from members of the House and Senate failed to materialize.
I hereby officially and enthusiastically endorse Newt Gingrich for President of the United States.
Combined with well-regarded efforts by his campaign to turn out early voters, added up to a Romney victory.
NBC News can project that Mitt Romney will win the Florida Republican presidential primary. Newt Gingrich is a distant second.
Now the pace of the campaign changes a bit. Over the next week, we'll have caucuses held in Maine, Minnesota, Nevada, and Colorado. All of those are states where Romney did very well, in particular in Nevada in 2008, where 1 in 4 voters were Mormon, who voted 95% for him. On the other hand, the caucus states have been targeted all along by the Paul campaign, who think they'll have an advantage turning out their especially enthusiastic voters to participate in low-turnout caucuses. There's also a non-binding beauty contest primary in Missouri that doesn't choose any delegates, but Newt Gingrich isn't on the ballot there, and Rick Santorum is benefiting from some of the media and attention he got in next-door neighbor Iowa, and he leads in at least one poll there.
You say that Missouri's got a big role to play in the process, and yet they don't have any delegates there, do they?
They don't have delegates in this primary. They have a caucus coming up in about a month after the primary. But you know, it's a primary. People are going to go out to vote. Everybody's always looking at what do the polls say. Well, the best poll is, you know, folks in one of the most important states in the country in the general election is going to speak.
And then we have a bit of a lull. No debates and no more primaries until the end of the month, when there are primaries in Michigan and Arizona, both of which are potentially very strong states for Mitt Romney. Michigan, where his father served as governor, and Arizona, where the population of Mormons rivals that of Nevada. The question for Newt Gingrich is, what does he do over this next 4 weeks if Romney and potentially Paul or even Rick Santorum are winning and he's not? Is he able to raise enough money and build organizations to compete in the southern primaries that'll happen on Super Tuesday in March?